Yeah.
Uh, Moving on, guys, to our final topic of today. You talked a lot about big businesses in the entertainment world. This one, we got to talk about Xbox and Microsoft, right? So the reason for this conversation, the president of Xbox, Phil Spencer, had said some very interesting things to the fans in the gaming community. I'm going to go ahead and read the quote, then we're going to go ahead and discuss it and what those words mean for the future state of gaming and for the current state of gaming. So, Phil Spencer said that he believes that generational exclusives are completely counter to what gaming is about. As a player, you are the center of our strategy, the executive said. Our device is not the center of our strategy. Our game is not the center of strategy. We want to enable you to play games you want to play with the friends you want to play with on any device. Any device. Sorry, hard for me to read. As fans of the show know.
Yeah.
Um, so
He needs as much practice as he can get.
yes, exactly. I should have read it. I read this only once before. I should have read it like 6 or 7 times. But we know that the Xbox conference, right, is going to be this Thursday, the 23rd, which is either the day this is coming out or the day before or after, whatever YouTube permits, right? So, what does that really mean, right? Like to me, that's like, oh, like we care about you. We want to cater to you. It doesn't matter what console you're buying or games as long as we can support you as a player. And now that's something gamers have been calling out for a long time since PS3 and Xbox 360. That's when the voice started to have a very strong, very strong outcome, right? Very strong and powerful
Yeah.
prominence in the internet world, in the gaming
The
community,
crossover conversation.
right? And
Yeah.
now we're getting into this point where a lot of these games are becoming crossover, and a lot of these exclusives on these consoles are becoming fewer and far in between. So it's kind of seeming like we're going towards that world. But as a gaming fan for the X amount of years I've been playing games, seeing this comment is like, I want to believe in it, right? I want to believe in what you're saying. I want to believe that you care about us. But at the same time, I know that your company only survives if I buy your games. I know you get a bigger markup when we buy your exclusives. I understand the reason that cross platforming hasn't happened already with most of our games was because of this greed by both companies, and this could have been done in the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 games to some varying degree. So I feel like this is a good publicity statement that you're trying to do to like usher in a new wave, but it's kind of hard for me to buy it, Chris. I'm not sure if you're I mean, you're more skeptical than me, but I don't know how you stand on this particular issue.
Yeah, I have like there's two parts of this for me. Um Part one, like obviously I know you like you're more the Xbox guy than me.
Yeah,
By far.
yeah, it's better.
Um like I don't think so, but um I I think the statement is an emotional statement.
Oh,
It's how Phil Spencer was feeling at the moment. Um I think he's under a lot of pressure from his own company.
okay.
Um because Xbox One did not do that well.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
that's
PlayStation destroyed.
PlayStation 4 and Switch has been the highest. The Switch has been the highest selling console for the last 19 months.
Yeah.
And PS4 absolutely dominated the classic two system war. 360 killed PS3, PS4 killed Xbox One. Um, but it's been rough for you know people who speculate and question stuff. His statement's one of those where it's like, hey, yeah, I want to believe that.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wants, right? You want to be able to play your games where you want to play them, and where I want to play them and who I want to play them with. Why
Mm-hmm.
can't I play my PS4 game with Rob on his Xbox One, and vice versa? And some games we can do that. Most games you can't. But to say that almost like calling out the exclusive games as not what game companies should be doing is a little like ridiculously hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Especially
One,
Xbox of all, right? Of all companies.
yeah, like obviously we know PlayStation is the way more like single player. PS exclusive like area of gaming. Obviously,
Especially now. Yeah.
Nintendo's only exclusive, right? Like Nintendo only survives because they own all their characters, and that's the only place you can go. You
Mm-hmm.
can't get Zelda, Mario, Pokemon,
Do you
uh,
think this is like a
anybody from
shot
anybody else.
at Nintendo more so than play Sony? Do you,
No, I think it's
okay.
more to Sony, which is a little confusing because Nintendo is even more exclusive. Um,
But nobody has a problem with Nintendo,
no,
right?
because Nintendo isn't competing for that same piece of the
They're
pie.
they're they're like, all right, we know we are everybody's second
Yes,
console.
yes,
Period.
but it's the second console you have to have,
Yes.
right? It's never I need a PlayStation and an Xbox and maybe a Nintendo system. It's no, I need PlayStation or Xbox
Mm-hmm.
and I have to have my
And
Nintendo
then
system.
maybe I'll get the other one.
Yeah, exactly. So even though it's like the second part, it's in its niche, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in its Zelda, Mario, Kirby, Metroid, Pokemon. That niche is there. Um, but for them to kind of say that, and I get it, right? PlayStation has Horizon. They just bought Insomniac. Spider
Mm-hmm.
Man was huge. God of War.
A new
You know,
Crash is coming out, which I'm
new
hyped
Crash.
for. I am so hyped. Oh,
New
I just
Crash
hit
is
my whole
great.
table. My
I'm
whole
so hyped.
table
I
shook.
broke everything.
They were like, yes. My table had a
Um,
spasm. It's okay, baby.
like Uncharted, Last of Us is the biggest game in June already. But again, for Microsoft to say that, and then everything right now that we know about the Series X is based on Halo Infinite.
Mm,
I can't play Halo Infinite on
you
PlayStation.
can't.
I can't play Gears of War on PlayStation.
Which
I
I
can't
don't know if
play.
they're making any more of that.
Well, they made five. They're gonna make more. I
Yeah.
can't play Forza regardless if I wanted to. But like, even though like Xbox has their stuff,
They
not
do.
as much because they don't focus as much on it. There's rumors
Especially
that,
anymore. Yeah.
especially anymore, but there's rumors that they're bringing back like big time console exclusives like Fable, which would be huge for them. Fable has a
Mm-hmm.
huge following, and they're in the conversation for buying off Warner Brothers, which could possibly mean Batman is an X-Men Xbox exclusive
Oh,
if
I,
they
I
buy
didn't
off.
hear about this. So Microsoft is
Yeah,
trying to buy Warner Brothers Media from
they are
from
in the
AT and
in the
T,
conversation.
like buy
Yes,
it from AT&T.
yes. AT&T, as me and Rob have talked about, has accumulated all of DC's and Warner Brothers debt by buying them out. And part of them trying to lessen that debt in the economic climate we're in is selling off some of the stuff. And they are trying to sell Rocksteady and WB Montreal, like all the gaming stuff in WB.
I feel like that's
And
such a. I don't know if that's a. I mean, obviously, I'm not a high end executive. I don't know the numbers, but I don't know if I would sell off those big things.
I would
Yeah,
because of two reasons. One, the amount of money you're making on one game isn't going to necessarily always surpass the amount of money you have to put into the game and pay all the employees.
with also the crippling
And
debt. Yeah.
yeah, and keeping that, keeping the offices open and the lights on and everything else and the servers and everything else that goes into making the game.
But my thing is, if they sell Rocksteady, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming, like, all right, they sell Rocksteady, the gaming company, and Rocksteady wants to make a Batman game. They're still gonna get a piece of the pie because they have Batman.
They're going to get a piece of the pie, but without paying for the studio that
That
they have to. So if you sell it the studio, but you're not selling off the rights to the character, right? So DC and Warner Brothers still have the rights to Batman and all the DC characters. If they sold, Rocksteady
mm-hmm.
becomes a part of, Xbox and Microsoft, or, there's been talks of EA's in the conversation. And different companies are in major companies. Ubisoft, I think, was one of them in talks to buy.
Hold on, stop, wait. We're having technical difficulties. Give me a second. You were just jumping around, freezing a lot.
Yeah,
All
your
right.
default speaker has changed to Realtek audio. Your default speaker has changed to headphones. Was that me or you?
That was you. Like, I think because you were moving. I don't know what happened with your headphones, stuff like that, and like
Hold
the
on, let me
screen
check. Let me
froze.
check. I mean, it's on the correct one right now.
I
I don't.
think,
That was weird.
yeah, I think you're good now. Kind of, just start back a little bit with
The buyout.
the buyout. Yeah.
Okay.
So, wait, what was the last thing you just said before I cut you off?
It was they were the different companies that are
Yeah.
in the
All right. So, my question was, I said to you, let me start with my question, and then
Yeah, yeah,
I'll lead you to that. All right.
yeah, yeah.
So if Warner Brothers, I mean AT&T sells off the Rocksteady Games company and the other stuff to like Microsoft, they'll still get a piece of the pie because they have Batman, right?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
exactly. And you know, Batman isn't going to become someone else's property, right? Batman's owned by DC and Warner Brothers. It's their biggest everything, right?
Yeah,
Um, and that doesn't mean that the company itself gets to take all of Batman. It just the gaming companies are somewhere else, so it doesn't accumulate more debt for AT&T.
mm-hmm.
So if they sell Rocksteady and the Montreal studio or wherever to Microsoft or EA or Ubisoft or one of
That'd be
these big
cool.
time companies, hopefully not EA,
Oh, nah, I don't want that yet.
it'll become, hey, we have the rights to make a Batman game, but we don't have the full rights for the character. We still have to vet everything through DC. So that would be
That'd be
like
huge for Microsoft. That'd be awesome.
that'd be huge for Microsoft, and if they bought WB, if Batman becomes an exclusive and it's like a middle finger to PlayStation on like, hey, you took Spider-Man, we're taking Batman.
Well,
Um,
Spider-Man was an exclusive, right? And he's
yeah.
still going to be an exclusive.
Mhm.
So it's only, I mean, in the fanboy world, I think it's only fair that the other one is the exclusive for the other game, right? Like I can see that. Like I mean,
But
ideally,
business isn't about fair, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
ideally
Um,
they both should be cross-platform and anybody should play any game they want. But
if I think I agree. I agree with you 100%, right? That's the overall and that's kind of the original statement he had. But I think when it comes to business,
you
all his
can't.
business partners are like, dude, shut up. Like that's not how this works. Like Sony's company was almost bankrupt a couple years ago. If it wasn't for PlayStation 4 and
Mm-hmm.
all the exclusive like AAA juggernauts, right? God of War, Spider-Man, Last of
Last of
Us,
Us.
Uncharted, all these juggernaut games, Sony would basically be in the trash right now. Their movie company is okay. Obviously, they made a bunch of money on Spider Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, their electronics are extremely expensive. Unless you are rich as hell, like a 4K Sony TV is like over $2,000.
It's a lot.
It's ridiculous because they're extremely high end.
Let me ask you this
Um,
question.
so
Let's
that's what they make their nut on is PlayStation.
like with both of these game consoles being virtually identical in power, performance, such and such,
Mm-hmm.
and then like both of them like you can crossplay all the other triple A games, let's say, and there's only the exclusive. Like it's getting to the point where like people are gonna be like, why don't we just have one game system? Because like, what's the difference of buying two different systems? And it needs to be these exclusives have to be why there's two separate game companies because
Yes. Or otherwise, everything's monopolized.
yeah, it's a necessary evil. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? It's gonna suck. You're gonna spend $1,000 because you're gonna get two consoles,
Mm-hmm.
but it's $1,000 on two consoles versus a 2,000 on one console, right? You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
have to have two separate companies battling each other, which means you have to have these exclusive games. But a lot of these other games that can be crossplay should be, and I
Yeah.
think it
I
needs to
agree.
get to a point where these story-driven games should be the games that are only exclusive, and the multiplayer game should be any system you want, right? Because it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to play Call of Duty on Xbox and you're only playing against Xbox people. Like,
Yeah.
you should play against the whole world. But it makes
Agreed.
sense to me that God of War is on one console because you don't need to play with anybody else. It's its own isolated server essentially. It's one thing. There's
But
no
it
multiplayer
sucks
thing.
if which I think God of War, listen, Sony Santa Monica invented that character.
Mm-hmm.
They also reinvented that character, and that's why it's PlayStation only. Like we invented it, like this is
Yeah,
ours. Like, go screw yourself. But Xbox should be doing more of that. And I get it, like Xbox is more of the hardcore gamer console. It's
it's
a
definitely
direct
heavy
connection.
focus on multiplayer. You feel that?
Yes, multiplayer and direct connection to PC, right? Everything that comes out for Xbox is always ready for PC day one.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation, it depends. But Xbox hasn't focused on main stories besides Halo and arguably Gears of War,
And
which is
even
kind of point
those,
two.
they're like those stories are pretty much near over, and like
Yeah.
whenever a
Like
new
where's
game
their new
comes
IP?
out, they're like, all right, you're beating a dead horse, or like it's not the same or as good as the old ones. You don't have any new IP, like you said, like you need to like reinvent those series, maybe even reboot them if you need to,
Yeah,
and retell the story in a different way or a new way, which I would be cool with. Like if you tell
like
me,
God of War.
like God of War, right? It's a
Yeah,
reboot, but it's also a continuation.
yeah,
So like you have to find a way to do that within those series to get people back in because I haven't played Gears since Gears 3, and I have no interest. I don't even remember the story. I don't remember anything except for the chainsaw gun, right?
yeah.
And like Halo, I remember all the stories, but the last one was I didn't even care about. I didn't even get it. Like
Mhm.
you have to like re-earn the faith in your fan base with your exclusives that kind of have been dying out, and with no new exclusives on the immediate horizon, it kind of sucks, and that's why more people are buying PlayStation. Like
Yeah,
I know I
yeah,
have Spider-Man and God of War there. What do you have? Oh, a Halo game that I really don't care about, and like
yeah.
it's the 12th one. Nah, I'm gonna go get this console. So like Xbox needs to step it up, and I guess this is their way of saying, oh, the reason we didn't step up is because we were doing this. Like, come on, no,
Yeah,
you're not.
and I agree with you 100%. Like, thumbs up. Um, I I just like again me. I'm a story driven gamer, right? I'm a story driven everything. TV shows, comics, movies, like story, story, story. Tell me a good story. I'm an old school campfire guy, and so naturally I'm going to be drawn more to PlayStation, just based on what I'm offered, right? Like, I'm not saying I've never played a multiplayer game, but and those are fun as hell,
Mm-hmm.
but I like story and I like talking about stories, which is podcasting 101. So,
Oh.
and also when you go into a next generation, people are already like, hey, like you have to gain that stuff from the previous generation. And
Mm-hmm.
the stuff Xbox is doing with, hey, like, oh, we're not going to force you to get Series X. We're going to leave, the games are going to come out for both platforms for a couple of years. That sounds like a kumbaya, fantastic way to do, right? Like it's a pandemic. People are short on money. But on a business side, it's like, well, then who the hell's going to buy this if you're going to release the games on the current console?
Right.
Like, who's going to buy it?
It's very like you said. It's a very nice approach and definitely very catering to the fan base that they've created. But
But
then at
is
the
it
same
genuine?
time, is it genuine? I don't I won't know until we see that conference
Mm-hmm.
to know more. Which again, depending on the time this entertainment world is either today, the day before, the day after, right? So
Yeah.
like I'm excited to see the conference, and I guess we as in the Jersey Comic Group and we as in gamers, all of us won't really know if these words are genuine until we see more from that conference, right? We
What do
see
you think what do you think they need to do in this conference to, like, first question, are you getting the Series X anyway? Regardless. Like, are you probably going to get one, right? You're an Xbox guy. To me, it'd be like, he's probably going to get one regardless of how this
like
goes.
regardless of how these goes, like right now, like probably I'm gonna end up getting both, right? But like right now, I'm probably leaning towards PlayStation because I know there's exclusives coming out that I want to get right away.
Like day one Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like at the other side of it, like you also have the social pressure of your friends. Like, oh, what is the console everybody else is getting? Like, oh, are they all playing on that? But if
Was
cross-platform's a
it South
thing,
Park where they're arguing the game systems?
bro, that is gamers life 101. That's
I could give
fact.
a shiz
Um,
about anybody and what they're getting. I am getting PlayStation 5.
like
But
I
I
like
don't know.
I'm probably gonna end up getting both, right?
Yeah.
Eventually. What game I get console I get first is yet to be seen because I don't
Yeah.
have enough information. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm assuming your second question is like, what does Xbox need to do? You need to wow me with the
Yeah.
day one release. You need to be
Yeah.
like day one. We're dropping this game, and it can't be Assassin's Creed Valhalla because that's on both consoles, right?
Yeah.
Like day one exclusive, boom in your mouth.
Triple AIP.
We have Batman. What? What? Huh? You have what? You have what?
Please no.
What did you say?
I need Batman on PlayStation.
All right,
I don't want...
I'm buying it. Oh, or day boom one, we relaunched Halo, and it's gonna be insane. Halo Infinite is the game of games that you all have been crying for and waiting for. Like day
And
one,
I think it could be. I think it could be.
It could be. I'm very
It
excited.
could be their God of War where it gets reinvented and Master Chief is back and it's
Mm-hmm.
insane and it's next gen graphics and it's, but like also if you're doing that, it's like it's almost like Zelda Breath of the Wild, right? Where it like reinvented the entire series. Drop it on the new console
Perfect.
as a business so people go and buy it. The one industry that isn't really faulting right now is gaming because everyone's at home.
Dude, I
And
went to the
everyone's buying
store.
up games
I
and
went
everything's sold out.
Target. Yeah, exactly. I went to Target the other day. I was gonna buy one of my nephews a Switch for his birthday. Just I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be crazy. Let me buy him a
That is
Switch.
crazy.
I'm gonna spoil the shit out of him. It's quarantine. He's probably killing himself and like losing his mind. And I was like, all right, like he's definitely bored. Let's buy him a Switch. Hey, can I get a Switch? And they're like, yeah, it's sold out. I'm like, the Switch?
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, all of our game consoles. I was like, all of them? People,
Mhm.
these games have been out for yeah. It's a quarantine. Everybody. I was like, what about games? Like I see
Everybody's
some
buying.
games. What about this game? Yeah, sold out. We're not getting any more. And I was like, I mean, of course I could order on Amazon, right? But I was like, at the stores, you're sold out. I was like, it was a shock. So I just,
Yeah.
gave him a bunch of money.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like, I mean, and we've seen it in the past couple days. PlayStation already went back to their manufacturer and they're making another 4 to 5 million more PS5s
Right?
because the demand and the talk and just the chatter alone, pre-orders aren't even out, is through the roof. Um, but yeah, I think as far as Xbox right now, what they need to do, they
Wow.
need to appeal to people like me where I've already written them off as far as like, yeah, I'm not getting this console anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching this to see what they do and because we talk about it on the show, but it doesn't do anything for me as far as gaining another person to buy your stuff.
If
They
they
need
tell
to
you
round
day
it.
one, Batman comes out
I'm gonna like rip
exclusive,
myself in half like a paper.
are you
Like
gonna get it? Like you have the option day one new Batman game on Xbox versus day one new Spider-Man game on
I'm
PlayStation.
I'm still
What do
going
you buy?
PlayStation. I'm
You
still going
still
PlayStation.
buy
Still
PlayStation?
going PlayStation. The last Batman was like,
No, yeah,
um,
but that wasn't like from them. That was but Origins. Oh no, that was Arkham
oh,
Knight.
Night.
All right.
With the Batmobile and
Yeah.
too much of the yeah. But I don't know. I if they get it, like to me, Xbox has to one say, hey, these are the companies that we have. Kind of like how Sony was like, here are all of our exclusive companies, and that original, not the latest PlayStation one, but the one before, where it was like
Mm-hmm.
Like Sony Studios. So every game had like a Sony Studio tag, where it's like they are putting in work. Xbox needs to buy up some stuff, and I don't know if that will be WB. I don't know how high the bid is or how much money it's going to cost. But they need to say, hey, this is what we have now, and here's a really good look at Halo
Mm-hmm.
and why it's going to change everything. Maybe a new Gears. I don't know. It's kind of beat to death. But I would, if I were them, I would bring back Fable in a big bad way
Fable would be
as
smart.
an exclusive. And new IP,
Yeah.
right? Like Sony has thrived through this generation based on new IPs, but also Xbox has to not obviously crap the bed on what they already do well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome multiplayer, show off that engine for that new system, that new refrigerator, show
Yeah.
off like the power, the speed, you know, show gameplay of multiplayer happening, how quick you're getting into a game, how quick you and your friends are boom, 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 already connecting. Like, show us stuff that will blow the already Xbox crowd into oblivion of excitement.
Yeah.
And show the price. Be the first one.
Yes.
If you want to wow people,
Show
show
the
that price now and say, here's how much we are going to cost your move, Sony. Like, you want to play chess, that's how you got to do it. And show the price. And if the price is wow factor, I know they're gonna show like the Series S, which I think is their digital only version,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is smaller. It's like half the size. It's like a cube instead of a rectangle.
That's cool. I like that.
So like that might be another thing where it's like, hey, maybe the digital's like $150 or $200 less.
Dude, like, yeah, if they wow you with a price that it's cheaper than like current generation now, like
Not gonna happen.
it's not gonna happen. But like, the internet will explode if they like, yeah, oh, Xbox One, what is it? Xbox Series X, $300. The world will explode.
And change the name because the name's confusing as shit.
Xbox
Like,
Series X, yeah, I don't like it.
I hate the name. Like I didn't even like one. Like you went from 360 to one. To, like that turned me off as marketing just alone. I was just like,
What would you name this
come on.
then?
The project names are great, like the Xbox Phoenix or the Scorpio.
Scorpion, right? Project or Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Just name them after animals.
And like
Just be
sick
cool.
animals. The
Like-
Xbox Sabertooth.
Yeah. I was gonna say, in like 20 years from now, the Xbox Pterodactyl.
Yeah, the Kraken.
The
Like,
the
Xbox
Kraken.
Kraken.
I like that. And then like have
Um,
an animal themed skin every one.
that'd be ridiculous. Like people be like, yo, it's cool. Like every
Yo,
idiot
I got what's
biker with a
Kraken
loud
lacking?
muffler. Like every idiot with a loud muffler would be like, "Oh, I'm buying that on name alone." But like,
I
I
would.
just the name's annoying to to me. PlayStation's very easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, and yeah, like again, just show that price, whether it's $500, which everyone kind of is between 5 and 600 right now. Hopefully, it's more towards 5.
Hmm.
Um, but that's tough, right? We're in a pandemic.
It is,
The
man.
the jobs are tough. But we'll see. I hope they do well. It's not like I'm hoping they fail. I just hope they don't have WB as an exclusive.
I hope so because that's gonna be awesome. I think it'll be good for the company. You hope not because of your wallet.
Yeah, because of my wallet, and I'm not like I'm never someone who's like I'm gonna buy this console for this one game. Um,
I did that with PlayStation. That's why I have a PlayStation 4. I bought it for Arkham because Arkham, I think, at the time was
Arkham wasn't.
it
Oh,
wasn't
it came out like a
exclusive.
year before or something.
Yeah, and then it had a Batman PlayStation, and I was like, yep, buying it.
That's right. And then Xbox did the same thing with Tomb Raider, where it's like
Yeah,
it's an exclusive for like 12 months, and you're like, that's just annoying and angering. Like this
yeah,
means nothing.
yeah. I was like,
Like, why are
nobody
you
even wants
doing
this
this?
game. Like, what is this?
I wanted this game.
I mean,
I love Tomb Raider.
compared to like Batman, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, compared to Batman, but like I think as far as this overall conversation, which
Yeah,
originally
go ahead.
was about Phil Spencer, I think he is under a lot of pressure. Um, like naturally, right? He's getting paid to do that job. He's the president of Xbox.
Yeah,
Microsoft makes billions of dollars off of them.
definitely.
There's also rumors that they might like make Xbox Live free or combine it with Gold Pass,
Ooh.
where it's like one price for Live and Gold Pass instead of separate.
Well,
Um,
go. Do you mean Game Pass? You mean Game Pass,
oh,
right?
sorry, Game Pass, not Gold
I was
Pass.
like, what? Yeah. I mean, if Game Pass and Live were combined, that'd be cool. You don't have to pay. I mean, a lot of it kind of is now, but it's not. It's not as streamlined.
Yeah,
I mean, if you tell me like Live is free, I think that alone is also a big wow factor.
that's wow.
Like
Yeah,
even if they're like, yeah, no new IP, but you can play online games for free. Like
yeah.
Xbox Live is free, and if you want Game Pass, that's the regular whatever it is a month or for the year.
Hmm.
That alone is a huge wow factor that I would think would be on the same level as having original IP for free because that means less money out of my pocket.
True, but I think people are when it comes to money. I think if it's if it's IP for the system you love, right? Like I get to have that pride of like because I love PlayStation. I get to have that pride of like, yes, I get to buy IP just for this system. Like
True, that there is that.
there's a little bit of like selfish bias pride of like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is for us kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah.
even and Tony's just like, yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
Like Xbox, I think needs to like sack up a little bit and do some of that, and if they could combine IP and they're already ridiculous, like awesome multiplayer online PC direct, like they will be in the bag
Mm-hmm.
as having a real big one leg up on this next gen. Um, and whether it's the fridge or the wireless router, and the
Exactly.
Switch is what the toaster that they're the Switch is the
Yeah,
toaster.
I think so.
You have toaster, internet, and a refrigerator.
So you
But
need.
yeah, I'm already sold on PlayStation 5. Regardless, like I was sold before it came out because I'm a PlayStation guy. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Phil Spencer again under a lot of pressure needs to figure out his thoughts. And he's clarified a little bit on what it is,
Of
but
course.
when you're gonna come out there and contradict yourself when you're like, hey, don't you guys live off of Halo? Like, stuff like this is gonna come up. But yeah, we'll definitely talk more about this next week.
Of course.
After the new conference, we will see how it goes. Please let us know in the comments what you guys think of Phil Spencer's comments, as well as
Yes.
what you think is going to happen in this awesome Xbox conference. Are they going to have new games? Well, they have new games, but are they going to have IPs? Will they have more multiplayer so Rob and his friends will be happy and no one's angry that someone got a PlayStation instead of an Xbox? Questions like that. Which would be very funny if you were like, sorry guys, I got PlayStation. Everyone's like, we all spent $500 and you screwed us in the ass. That would be the greatest thing. And I'm just sitting here like this, like,
I might do that just for that conversation.
please do. And just have it like, or even just fake it and just record it. That would be the greatest thing ever. And I'm just like, like the sand people in the background.
So, guys, that is the end of the podcast. We thank you so much for tuning in. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of stuff to look forward to next. With this quarantine is still active and going strong, but
Yes.
the entertainment world is starting to pick up, so we're starting to all get excited, get back to almost a normal rhythm of gaming, content, and all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done that. Really helps us out, helps us grow as a channel. We're reaching 100 soon on YouTube, which might be a small thing for you guys, but for us, we like 3 digits, so that's cool.
I like 5 digits.
Ooh, I like 7. Is 7 a million?
And here's the next
Wait,
dick
is 7 a
size.
million? Let's do.
It's
Yeah.
6, dumbass.
No.
I
6.
know.
It's
I'm
7.
just messing with you. I
All
was
right.
trying to see if
I
he
had to
was
do. I
gonna.
was like, wait.
Wait a minute.
I like
6.
7 a lot better, so we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, 7 would be great.
As always, I'm Rob Moran,
And I'm Chris Heller.
and we'll see you next time.
JerseyComicCrew.podbean.com.
6 digits, my butt.